I'm back.
Bluntly.
Down on the ground.
One is you need to do everything local, even if you think globally. It means that you don't have to have a networked strategy.
Bluntly, and bluntly.
Growth be considered as a panacea concerning development.
Economic growth in the Congo is on the paper, but it's not the reality.
There's evidence, especially among students, people graduating. You can see.
It may be strong, but people who are dealing with it, this is the problem. Or white people are not.
Bluntly, oui, Anicet.
From time immemorial, nobody has eaten omelette without bringing eggs. That's why we must polish up economic strategies in order to skyrocket. Do you have any ideas about economic development and welfare? Join us in this program. Bluntly, and bluntly. Everything is under control. Keep in touch.
Bluntly, and bluntly.
Bluntly is well done.
Bluntly is very nice.
In DRC, bluntly is an obligation.
Bluntly is exciting.
Bluntly is my passion.
Wherever you are, work bluntly.
Bluntly with Anicet.
Sing to bluntly. English is the reality in DRC.
Bluntly, and bluntly. Everything is under control.
Hello everybody, welcome to the program. Bluntly, and bluntly. Everything is under control. Everything is definitely under control in this program. Today's bluntly really unappealing. Today's bluntly is unprecedented as we're going to focus on something vitally important. The importance of insurance in the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's why I'm not alone today. Right here and right now, I'm going to introduce to you my guest. The first one, Lindsay Domingue. Hello, Lindsay Domingue. How are you today? For the first time on Bluntly TV show. You are the country managing partner of Ernst & Young. Yeah. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Will you take a seat? Yeah, thank you. And we have Valerie Safarian.
Yes.
Hello, Valerie. How are you today?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Very
yeah. Also
you.
for the first time on Bluntly program.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Are you ready to get the message across?
Certainly.
On Bluntly. You are the director of Orbis.
Indeed.
Yeah. Thank you. Would you take a seat?
Yeah.
Wherever you want. And we have Jean-Luc Kamba. Hello, Jean-Luc. How are you today?
Oh.
Yes. You are Congolese? For the first time on Bluntly as well.
I came from Lubumbashi.
I'm delighted to see you here on Bluntly. Are you willing to speak Bluntly?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, you are risk manager of Jacamine in Democratic Republic of Congo. Yeah. You take a seat there. Thank you. And we have Rupert Wetrings. Hello, Rupert. How are you today?
Very
yes.
well, thanks. How you doing?
Yes, I'm good. Yes, you are new markets manager of IC Assurance.
That's correct.
Yeah, in Democratic Republic of Congo. Very shortly, you're going to.
Well, we hope shortly to be president.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you take a seat?
Thank you.
Bluntly, and bluntly. Everything is under control. Everything is definitely under control in this program. You know, insurance is something vitally important. We cannot move the country forward without putting a particular emphasis on insurance in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Don't forget that Bluntly is the only Congolese broadcast where you can find joy, hope, and inspiration for a better future. Bluntly is doubtless reaching the cruising speed. But what's going on about insurance in DRC? Find out.
In September 2012, the government of the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, submitted to the parliament a bill of law on the insurance code for discussion and adoption prior to its promulgation by the other states and publication in the official gazette in accordance with Articles 100, paragraph 2 and 130 to 137 of the DRC Constitution. During the period starting from 1885, the year of the creation of the Congolese state, formerly known as État indépendant du Congo EIC, until 1966, the insurance sector was dominated by foreign companies from Belgium, France, Holland, Great Britain, and Canada, such as, for example, Charles Lejeune, Imoaf, Bose, Bigold, etc. Some years after the independence of the Congolese states, the Congo decided to set up a public company known as Société Nationale d'Assurance, SONAS. Despite the fact that SONAS did not perform well, its monopoly status remained unchanged until today, making it hard for DRC or foreign companies to operate in the insurance sector in a country as big as the DRC with a population of over 65 million. However, it is obvious that the insurance sector plays an important role in the emergence of modern economies. This is the reason why the DRC government drafted its bill of law on the insurance code with a view to liberalize the insurance sector, which generates a lot of incomes. The preamble of the bill states that the bill of law on the insurance code is one of the most important measures taken by the government in order to modernize and liberalize certain economic and financial activities of the country. In fact, the legal security is one of the major concerns of the investors and the prerequisites of the economic development of the country and to the improvement of the citizens' living conditions. The insurance's activities are part of the competitive sector of the economy, and therefore, it is not recommended for the state to play a predominant role in such a sector. However, the state should set forth the conditions in which no companies, including mutual insurance organizations, may be authorized to operate in this sector.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would like to start with Valerie Safarian. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
How can you define insurance?
Well, insurance is basically covering each individual or any company from risk that we are facing and taking each day of our life. Insurance has a social role in our society. Insurance has also a role in preventing claims to happen. So I define insurance not only as a crucial financial sector in an economy, but also as a very important player in the social life of our society.
Do you prevent claims to happen, as you're saying?
Certainly. I mean, insurance companies are done to make profits. So if they can avoid a fire to happen and give advice to clients in order to prevent those events to happen, definitively that's the role of an insurance company and a good broker.
Yes, in countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, where insurance is not really known, for somebody who doesn't know anything about insurance, what's the best definition?
Well, what is the best definition for a good father of a family is basically protecting his family against accidental risk, against sickness. Taking an insurance for healthcare insurance is protecting the family in case somebody would get sick and needs to go to hospital and be hospitalized. Well, that insurance would cover all those expenses. So that's the first example that we could explain to the people who would not get used with the insurance. For
in
example.
DRC, things are not really clear about that. Do you think that there is a glimmer of hope?
I know that, but I do believe that today, our team today, we will make sure that everybody understands the importance of insurance.
Yeah, that's great. I'm very happy.
Thank you.
And I would like to ask a question to, how many types of insurance do we have worldwide?
Types of insurance, but I think basically there can be different classifications. One of them is, what are you trying to protect? You're trying to protect assets and you're trying to protect people. Now, traditionally, we distinguish between life insurance and non-life. Well, non-life insurance is really also called property and casualty insurance. So life insurance, I think, is quite clear what it means. It's insuring against the risk of death. It's not that you're going to stop people from dying necessarily, but when the person dies, there would be some financial compensation, for example, for their family. The property and casualty insurance is, for example, for the risk of car accidents, for the risk of fire, risk of disasters due to the weather, for example. In addition to that, you also have health insurance, which may or may not be seen as a separate category. But but these other categories, but the reality is you can insure against almost anything. If you're a farmer, you can insure against the risk that bad weather is going to affect your crop for a year. So there are, I'm not going to say an infinite, but you can insure almost any risk you will find. I'm sure you will find an insurer who's willing to insure against that risk. So and the whole purpose is that with insurance it reduces your risk, or it transfers the risk to someone else, and that gives you more confidence, for example, to undertake a project. And somebody said that New York would not have been built without insurance companies, because when you go
starting in the United States of America.
I think it started even before that.
Even before.
But the key point is that when you undertake a big project or a new company, there's a certain level of risk that you're taking, and insurance can help you reduce that risk and give you more confidence and comfort
talking about
to go forward.
The Democratic Republic of Congo is a country in the heart of Africa, you know, today with 26 provinces. What do you see at the first sight in terms of insurance in DRC?
Today, what exists today? Today, 80% of the insurance contracts that take place today in DRC are car insurance. So today, as you know, there's a state monopoly, SONAS, and 80% of their contracts are car insurance.
Yes.
On the other hand, it's also believed that 90% of the insurance that happens in DRC today does not take place in the formal sector.
Yeah.
What this means is that, for example, and Jean-Luc will certainly comment on that later,
Yes.
for example, when a mining company has to insure its assets,
yes,
some companies today, they go outside of the country to do that.
absolutely. And what are the main risks in the insurance sector? Not only in DRC, we're talking about insurance as a concept.
Manager in a mining company, so as Domingo told us, we have assets and a staff company. And our assets, the big risk is industrial risk, fire, robberies, because we export products outside the country.
Yeah.
For that, we need a cover to Lubumbashi till our client in China, Europe, and so on.
Without stopping you today, the liberalization is like a brief of life. Yeah.
So, because we need new products of insurance products, we need new policies, because now, as Domingo said, we have 80% of car insurance. You see, we haven't a lot of from SONAS. We don't have any products to cover all the risks
That's why the liberalization is something vitally important to.
For us, yes, we have new products and surely potential new prices, because now it's a little bit difficult. We have a fronting through insurance from Europe, but normally if we got directly in Congo that company, so we will have better prices.
Yes, and there is a matter of trust as well, you know. With foreign countries, you know, which are trustworthy, Congolese people will be going, you know, to
not only because professionalism is international standard. So if we got that company, we can have also a Congolese company. But for us as company, we need professionalism people in working in that sector.
Yes, but you know, doing business in challenging locations requires unique management skills. Is DRC a challenging location?
For that.
Yeah, and what should be done to avoid that? What should be done to do a good business in the Democratic Republic of Congo without problem? We know that there are a lot of obstacles on the ground. But what should be done to
Well, if I may step in here, I think the privatization of the liberalization of the insurance sector certainly helps, because it allows companies to actually concretely and successfully prevent and protect themselves in terms of buying insurance, because at the moment a lot of companies invest in the DRC and they don't have the adequate mechanism to actually securely protect their assets from fires, from floods. I mean, just look at today, the amount of flooding in Kinshasa and the amount of rain. If you've got, for example, a import company and you've taken out a loan from the bank and you've bought a lot of cargo and you're willing to sell that in the DRC, well, what happens with the rain this morning if you don't have insurance? Your cargo is lost. So there's certain difficulties and challenges to investing in the DRC, but insurance is an area where it creates some sort of protection with the liberalization of the market.
And do you feel very welcome in DRC about
Certainly.
I'm going to operate easily without problem?
Well, we hope to be operating here next year with the liberalization of the insurance market. Just from my personal experience, I was in Angola for 4 years before this, and the Congolese are certainly a lot more friendly than the Angolans.
Yes, more friendly?
More friendly.
When you be in Angola, you say Angola is... Okay, I'm just kidding.
But in terms of access with government are very open to have meetings with us. They seem to be very progressive, very excited about the change in the insurance sector. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, with Valerie and with colleagues from Ernst & Young, we were in Belgium with the Minister of State Planning and the Minister of Economy, and they were very open and very progressive in terms of the ease of access of discussion and also the thoughts about the future insurance sector. So yes, we feel very welcome in the DRC.
And what's the particularity of DRC for somebody who wants to invest in insurance sector?
Well, for us,
you are an expert, you know.
Well, our group has invested in a number of African insurance markets before, and the DRC certainly is very exciting for us because there is no real insurance market in the current setup. As Lindsay pointed out, 80% of the insurance is motor insurance. There's a huge, 90% of the market is the informal sector. So we see a great opportunity in creating a mechanism to formalize that informal sector.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Bluntly, and bluntly. Everything is under control. Everything is definitely under control in this program. As you can see, this bluntly is very good. As people who are participating in the program are experts. They're really knowledgeable about insurance matters. As the saying goes, quote, don't teach your grandmother to stack eggs. Unquote. From time immemorial, nobody has eaten omelette without breaking eggs. That's why we must polish up economic strategies in order to skyrocket. Do you have any ideas about economic development and welfare? Join us in this program. That's our motto, our slogan. Stick around. We'll be back after the break. Find out. I'm back.
Bluntly.
Down on the ground.
One is you need to do everything local, even if you think globally. It means that you don't have to have a networked strategy.
Bluntly, and bluntly.
Growth be considered as a panacea concerning development.
Economic growth in the Congo is on the paper, but it's not the reality.
There's evidence, especially among students, before graduating, you can see.
It may be strong, but people who are dealing with it, this is the problem. Or right people are not.
Bluntly, oui, Anicet
From time immemorial, nobody has eaten omelette without bringing eggs. That's why we must polish up economic strategies in order to skyrocket. Do you have any ideas about economic development and welfare? Join us in this program. Bluntly, and bluntly. Everything is under control. Keep in touch.
Bluntly, and bluntly.
Bluntly is well done.
Bluntly is very nice. In DRC, bluntly is an obligation. Bluntly is exciting.
Bluntly is my passion.
Wherever you are, what's bluntly?
Bluntly with Anicet.
Think to bluntly. English is the reality in DRC.
Bluntly, and bluntly. Everything is under control.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would like to come back to you. Yeah, now we're going to focus on the particularity of each company because you are representatives of several companies. Let's talk about yours.
Shall I start?
What is it?
Well, Orbis is an insurance broker.
Yeah.
What is an insurance broker? It's an intermediary between a client and an insurance company. So today we are active. We have a SONAS license, which means that we work 100% compliant. Compliant is a very important word. We would meet a client, an industry, that would require to be insured by a foreign insurance company with a A rating, for example, Standard & Poor's or Fitch, whatever. We would then find the best quote from those insurance company, find out whether the capital insured are relevant, and then go to SONAS and ask SONAS to front the insurance policy.
Yes.
That's true that the added value of SONAS on that mechanism is not very high, but at least we legalize the contract.
Yes.
There is VAT on it, and the contract is official and formal in Congo.
Yes.
Now, we face a competition today, and Lindsay underlined that. We face a competition of brokers that are not registered in Congo. Because of some weaknesses of SONAS, brokers and clients decided to not be insured through this mechanism, which sometimes can be more expensive than dealing directly with a foreign insurance company. But we do believe that Orbis took the right decision to work compliance and in order to get the license, the new license as broker in the future market next year. Yes. Because we believe that the regulator will not easily register broker that have been working out of the compliancy the last years.
Will you be happy to work with illegal brokers? People who don't have any license?
No, but we understand.
Or we'll make sure that things are really good.
We understand that if a mining company is having an international broker that cannot access the market, it's quite understandable that this company wants to work offshore. But they can front the policy, and they can work with local brokers that have the capacity to front this policy. And at the same time, as Jean-Luc mentioned, working with the local brokers can also decrease the price, because we can, in a way, try to manage claims locally on behalf of those insurance companies. But still, I'm very enthusiastic and very positive about the opening of the market, because even if we can work today, we cannot work. We cannot be 100% efficient. In an open market, we would be then 100% efficient.
Yes. But the fact of working with, SONAS, isn't it challenging?
It's challenging.
Is it going to be easy for you to make a,
No, it's challenging, but we have good relation with them. I think they understood the last months that they need to be more flexible to work with brokers, international brokers, or either local. We do have brokers, an association represented at FEC, Fédération des Entreprises du Congo, where we defend the rights of those brokers, and we do have appointments with SONAS managements in order to explain our requirements in terms of managements and quotes and things like that. But I do believe that SONAS understood that they need also to restructure themselves, and
the restructuring of the company, SONAS
to restructure themselves, and that's why they are also keen to listen to us with our experience, with our background coming from other countries.
Yes, good. You're right. Yeah. And what about yours, your company?
EY,
what's going on?
So Ernst & Young, also known as EY, we're actually present in over 150 countries, and we employ 210,000 people across the world.
Wow.
So we've been around for about 200 years now.
200.
And
how many are going to employ in DRC? That's the best question.
Today in DRC, we have a team of 55 people.
55.
So
Congolese ones?
95% of them are Congolese. I'm one of the few non-Congolese in the company. Yeah. So what does EY actually do? We're not an insurance company. Yeah. We are a professional services company, so we provide services to the private and to the public sector. Now, the sorts of services we provide external auditing and accounting services, we provide tax and legal advice, and we provide consulting services to the public sector as well as to the private sector. Now, what does that mean as far as insurance is concerned? For example, we help set up regulators, government regulators. We help the government in terms of setting up their regulators, defining the regulations. And for the private sector, we help our clients and partners to set up their business, to define their business plans, and to deliver their projects on time, on budget. So we also provide training. And then afterwards, we come, once they're up and running, we come and help them. We audit their accounts, and depending on what their actual needs are. So our role is really to accompany the economic development of the countries and the communities where we operate, which is why...
The problem you talked about auditing. No, in Africa, many companies don't like professional auditing companies. How are you going to deal with?
Well, it's a necessary evil. Yeah. It's not so evil, because actually the reason you have external auditing is to make sure that there are proper internal controls in place and that the financial reports are reliable. Yeah. So that's necessary, because when you're
it's a new culture for Congolese companies.
And it's true that the auditing, accounting and auditing professions also, and the regulation is also being updated here in DRC. But you know, audits have existed for many years. Some of the firms that are here have been here for more than 40 years. Yes. So yes, the culture needs to be strengthened, but certainly international companies and many others are increasingly used to auditing. There are international auditing standards, and in fact, the majority of our clients are local companies, not just international companies.
Yes.
So there is a, so auditing is a good thing.
Yeah, thank you. And Jacami, what's going on about insurance? Jacami, do you also want to create something related to?
Oh, next year will be
the,
very big for us because we plan to have 2 new plants in, to increase our production. So for us will be next year will be very big, and also we have a lack of electrical power in Katanga.
Yes.
500 megawatt we need, and Jikaman planned to build himself in a power plant in Luena. Using our coke mine in Luena, instead to use it to making cement, we'll use it to make electrical power. For us, and we can't imagine 1 second to build 2 plants and a central without having insurance for that.
Yes.
I'm sure that next year, we'll spend our time in making good and new insurance policies.
Are you willing to face the rivalry with international companies? Do you think that yours will also be successful in terms of professionalism?
Yeah, because we must learn new skills. So that for us will be a new challenge and very interesting with.
Yeah, in Democratic Republic of Congo, people do not rely on local companies. What will you do to change that way of thinking?
But, please, for me, I do my study in Europe, and I see the international standard. I'm not city, I'm not country, because we must have new standards, and why not to look after outside?
Yes. And Jacamine is a big company. I know that you work in partnership with the government.
Yes.
Are there any kind of interferences from the government about what you'll be doing? How to?
The new code is clear.
Overcome that.
The new code is clear. We must cover all the risks.
Yes.
And so, if locally we don't find skills, we must look after and outside.
And for the time being, are you allowed to do what you were talking about?
Yeah.
And do you have means? Money. Do you have money available to do that job properly?
That's another part of the matter. But I think we got it.
Thank you. And Rupert.
Thank you, Anicet. ICE is an African-focused insurance group. Just to give a short history, we're not quite as 200,000 employees. Not yet.
Less than that.
10 years in the DRC, maybe. We began in Mozambique in 1997 by creating one of the first private insurance companies. The Mozambican insurance industry was very different in 1997 to what it is like now. Then in 2005 we were the first private insurance company licensed in Angola, and thereafter in Ghana as well. We've subsequently had insurance investments in Sao Tome, Namibia and South Africa. The focus of the group, we actually arrived in the DRC in 2012, but we have not done any business in the DRC because we do not have a license, and we want to do things properly only once we're incorporated. We did not want to create up a brokerage in the short term. We did not want to operate as a reinsurance company in the short term. We are purely sat here to research and understand what is happening in the DRC and position ourselves correctly with the correct staff, correct team, and the correct knowledge of how the country works for the next year when we can begin actually investing in terms of incorporating an insurance company. So the works we've been doing is building up relationships with the government and training. We've begun training in the DRC, and we want to do a lot more, and we will do a lot more once we can incorporate ourselves.
At first sight, you look really determined, to
yes,
do a great job.
Not at first sight. Give us 300 sites.
What will you be doing to meet your clients and your client needs and expectations?
Well, we are an African-focused group. I'm from Zimbabwe, but the group generates local insurance companies with international money. So if I can give you a scenario, in Angola we created the largest private insurance company, which had a turnover of $210 million in 2013. In that company we had a team of about 160 to 180 staff. Of that we only had 3 expats, the rest was an Angolan team, and that's a model which we want to recreate in the DRC.
How many people are you going to employ in DRC?
Well, it depends on our success in the country. You know, we have great visions and great expectations for our insurance success, but I can't firmly give you a number because it depends on whether we get a license next year as well.
Yes, thank you very much. Bluntly, and bluntly, everything is under control. I'm delighted. Today's bluntly is different from others, I'm telling you. As we're talking about insurance, you know, there is nobody in the world who can move, you can, you know, become an insurer without having, you know, expertise, like people I have here, who know everything about insurance. They're experts, I'm telling you. You know, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step in the Democratic Republic of Congo. If we need to move the country forward, we must start by, you know, insurance sector. That's, you know, the best deal from now on, I'm telling you. You know, from time immemorial, nobody has eaten omelette without breaking eggs. That's why you must polish up economic strategies. That's really an obligation in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Otherwise, the country will move from bad to worse. Something really, you know, unbearable. We must work hard to move the country forward. Apart from Bluntly, don't forget that we have an English program called Newscast. That's the second one, apart from Bluntly. Find out.
From now on, English program has become mandatory on television.
Watch Newscast and you will be knowledgeable.
Newscast with Anicet Yomboranian.
Last Friday, and morning of Congolese President set a particular emphasis on the implementation of outlines of business.
Newscast with Anicet Yomboranian.
Thanks for watching and goodbye from Kinshasa. Keep in touch. Thank you very much. Yeah, I would like to emphasize something else which is important. The last one, we're going to conclude the program. But talk about mindset. And mindset here means what, you know, Congolese way of thinking, of doing things when it comes to insurance sector. I think there is a job which must be done about it. What should be done to change Congolese mindset?
You're absolutely right. The mindset about insurance today is not existing. Let's say it clearly. I have the chance to be a lecturer in a university today, and there is a bachelor in bank insurance at École Supérieure de Management de Kinshasa. We have about 10 students in class. We need all around the table to educate people about this sector, because it has to be attractive. It's if I compare a region which I know very well, the Brussels region, the insurance and bank sectors represent about 20 to 30% of the job of this region. Could you imagine what it could represent for Kinshasa in 10 years? So definitively we need to create a mindset about insurance. We need to emphasize the importance of insurance. There will be an issue for companies in the coming months and coming years. It will be the war of talents, because finding a good staff with a good knowledge of insurance is an issue. I know Rupert's and other companies are well placed to recruit people. As a broker, we do work with less staff than an insurance company, but we still face that problematic. So there is also a role of these future players in the sector, which is basically to push hard all those new staffs to study, work hard in order to integrate this expertise of insurance, which you just mentioned in your introduction. So mindset is important, and the insurance mindset, as I said in the introduction, will also bring a lot of things to Congo. Having an open insurance sector will secure the country as well. Being sure that when you have an accident, your family will get some revenues that secure yourself to take risk as an entrepreneur. So that is a job of the future players, is to marketize the importance of the insurance industry.
Yes, and the Democratic Republic of Congo has people who are a little bit skeptical. What should it be at the beginning?
Well, just making conference, explaining. Insurance company, they do have a good marketing budget. I'm sure they will come back to the RTNC to explain about their products, in order for Congolese to not be skeptical, and giving examples. And how to not to be skeptical is basically when you will see that those insurance company will pay claims. When there will be a major fire, of $1 million, and that you will see that the day after, the expert, the loss adjuster, will be already on site to set up the claim. I think that will help people to understand why it is important for those companies to be able to start from day two the business operation without interruption.
Yes,
yeah.
good.
If I can add to this point, it's clear that we should not underestimate the cultural aspect. So both in terms of people being willing to go into insurance as a career, and secondly also the population who today do not trust insurance because of historical reasons. So we have some work to do, all of us, in terms of educating the population as well, so that they can understand that, you know, what's the benefit of insurance and what they're going to get out of it. And I think it's also important that companies actually offer products which are tailored for the needs of the population here, because for example, in some countries like Kenya, you see a rise in what they call micro-insurance. So it's insurance products for low-income families. And so they don't have to pay a big premium every month, but they can see the benefit. So it's important.
Are you going to do that in DRC as well?
I'm not an insurance company, but I'm more than happy to advise my distinguished thugs here, and I'm sure that I'm pretty sure that Rupert will be willing to do that.
Yes. Why doesn't DRC take into consideration, you know, insurance in the education sector?
I think it's largely historical because of the situation that DRC has had in the last 50 years, or even before that. And well, it's also supply and demand, but also many young students, as Valerie mentioned, were less. I mean, today there are 10 in the classroom. It's already good that there are 10, and we also have the pleasure to be teaching there. I think it's a question of education. They need to be encouraged, and they need to be explained, and that's the work we all have to do. And when they see new jobs also being advertised, asking for insurance, asking for banking, because if you look at other economies, the size of the insurance market, I think the average worldwide is, you take the total insurance premium, so the total income of the insurance sector, it's about 6% of the gross domestic product worldwide. 6%. So here in DRC it's something like 0.4%. But the potential is there. So it can be quite a big economic sector in itself, plus it's important as well for growth and development for the reasons that my colleagues already outlined, in terms of giving more trust to develop business and projects. So potentially that can be quite a big sector, but we have to explain that and make it happen. So explain it to the people. You have been
working here since 2012. Do you rely on Congolese people? You know, do young Congolese people inspire you much confidence in terms of manpower?
Absolutely. In fact, EY have been here since 2007.
Yeah, 7.
I arrived in 2011 and took over the management of the firm here in 2012. Absolutely, because you cannot succeed by having a company only with expatriates. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, and it's not sustainable.
Absolutely.
And so absolutely, that's what we do. We try and recruit and select the best talent, train them, and we do the same in every country where we are, so that afterwards they are the ones who are the future leaders and the leaders of the firm in all the countries where we operate. And I think Rupert mentioned that ICE has the same model as well.
Of course.
So absolutely.
And Jekami, what should you do to change the mindset of the population, people who are working there?
For example, we have from August till November, we have our budget meeting in Jekaman. Also, it's a struggle to make changing in mind that paying insurance is not a loss, because from how the management paying insurance is a loss. But
while it is not.
My job is slowly to get a new vision and to put it like an investment. That's what I'm making from 20 years. I'm trying to do. And
how long it's going to take for you to convince people there and change their way of doing things? We need to put, a new software in our brain.
As Anicet says, because if you lose your cellular, if you can have a policy and you get it a new one the day after, I think people can say, okay, I can pay $1 a week or $1 a month to cover my cellular and to get another one if they be stolen in the street. That's another to change mind. But also, from all the company to do is not. We must have mandatory policy. We must have investment policy. That I think can be changed in all the companies in Congo.
Do you hope for a better future about it?
I'm sure.
In DRC?
I'm sure.
Theoretically, or you're sure that things are going to work on the ground?
Okay.
Yes. Let's talk about capacity building. I think that's the most important thing here.
Well,
insurance.
In terms of capacity building, firstly, for us to generate capacity and interest in insurance, we need to get that interest going in insurance. And for an insurance company, that's easily done by us paying claims. We actually get trust. But in terms of capacity, in terms of people, it's on a training basis. The group outsources training and has an internal insurance academy. With Valerie, we've begun. In February we begin training at the
next February 2016
at the same college. But in the interim, we're providing our own training sessions this next week. We're providing training at 2 universities. We're having training sessions with 2 banks and with government agencies. So capacity begins on training, but it's not just ourselves. As soon as we have competitors in the market doing it, it builds up in the insurance industry. It builds up the capabilities in the market. So it's on a training basis, and for actual people to have trust in the insurance industry, which comes about from insurance companies actually paying claims.
What's the best way of dealing with disaster victims in DRC?
Dealing with disaster victims is handling claims fairly. Obviously, if they're insured, we can deal with them. We can't just. But no, it's at the moment there is a gap, because when people have a claim in the local setup, it doesn't seem that claims are handled correctly, so people don't have the trust and the faith and aren't treated fairly. For us, that's absolutely integral that people are insured as per their policies, and they get fair, swift claims paid and assistance.
Good. We're going to conclude by just 20 minutes. Each one of you can get the message across. I don't know any details you have forgotten. 20 seconds. Everybody to conclude the program.
Well, an important message, and it's also related to the mindset. Opening the markets will definitively decrease premiums. That's also a strong message I'd like to give. You have to imagine that when a company like Gécamines is insured, maybe through South African market today, there is a need of a loss adjuster to come from South Africa, go to the hotel, spend 1 week making reports. Well, there is a minimum premium to cover those expenses. Opening the market will be able to give from those offshore markets a mandate to those local insurance company like ICE to take care of those local issues, to take care of basically printing out a good contract with good conditions, to take care of translating the conditions from the offshore markets into the local market, and to take care to handle the claim. So definitively one message I'd like to give also is that it will have an impact on the budget of those companies and those individuals that are currently insured. Okay. In addition to that, we already outlined, we will hire staff. So I'd like also to say that when market will be open, there is a big potential in front of us. We will hire
Congolese people.
Congolese people, of course. We are not here. I mean, I would be really happy if we can all together here transfer our knowledge to those Congolese staff. Look at the banking sector today. How many Congolese staff you have in the board of those banks? Well, that's exactly how the insurance sector will be in 5 or 10 years.
Good. 20 seconds.
20 seconds. So the law that was voted on 17th of March 2015 for le nouveau Code des Assurances comes into effect on the 17th of March 2016. So that's 4 months away. So what happens then is that the market is then open. Obviously, there's not a lot of time left. There are still some steps in the meantime that need to happen, like the setting up of the regulator. I mean, we all believe, and it's clear that the reform of the insurance sector is very key for the further development and prosperity of DRC. So, and it's up to all of us to make that happen. We believe in it. And I cannot emphasize enough how important and how vital that's going to be for this economy, but it's important that we do it right as well, because the international community are looking at us. Yeah. And if that's done properly, and I'm sure it will be, that's going to really boost the economy in DRC.
Good.
We can say the final of this meeting that the new insurance sector will help all the companies to face the risk, because now JCAMI is not alone in mining sector, and he must also cover his products better, and we'll get more clients if they're sure that all our products will arrive in safe condition. Now it's not clear, because sometimes we don't find the real products in the good moment.
Good. Good. Your conclusion?
Two quick points. Firstly, to follow on what Lindsay was saying, it's incredibly important that the insurance sector is finalized so we can invest in the DRC in 2016. As mentioned, we've been sitting, researching and understanding the country since 2012, and we're very excited about our future investment. And the second aspect is in terms of capacity building, in terms of people. There are Congolese people out there with insurance knowledge, and we'd like them to contact us. But we also, for those who are studying at the moment, look at the insurance potential in a different eye. It's no longer just getting a job with Sonas, it's a possibility of getting a job with other companies which are investing in the insurance industry. So look for it as a future place for employment.
Good, good. Bluntly, and bluntly. Everything is under control. Everything is definitely under control in this program, as you can see. You know, all is well, that ends well. Thanks for watching, and goodbye from Kinshasa. We are in the Democratic Republic of Congo. All the best, and keep in touch. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All of you. Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Keep in touch.
Keep in touch.